What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Supra. Today I'll be installing a mod that I think is going to make a huge difference on both the outside of the car and the handling performances. So I'm really excited about it and I cannot wait to feel the improvement over stock. So without further ado, let's get right into it. As you can probably tell from this view and the previous videos, the car sits really high off the ground. It's partly due to the suspension and partly due to the wheels. Those are 19-inch, but they have really small or really skinny tires on them, so the gap seems really big. Now, I want to fix that and I'm not going to get new wheels right away, so the best way to do it is with new coilovers. Those are the KW V3. They are some of the best suspension you can get for the money, and they are street legal in Switzerland, which is a huge thing. Not all of them are, actually just a few of them are, so I'm really stoked about that. Now I just really want to unbox it and see what's inside. In the box, I found the coilovers themselves and the handy dandy KW tool kit, which has the instructions and some tools. So now I guess the thing I haven't mentioned is the top hats do not come with the coilovers in this case, so I need to reuse factory OEM Toyota top hats. So I've got the rear and the front. Now that's kind of a bummer because typically I like to have some really nice top hats that you can see through from the engine bay, just like those, and you can really display the quality of your coilovers even just from looking at the engine bay, which is not the case here, unfortunately. So that's a little downside on these coilovers, but keep in mind the adjustment of camber, caster, and all of that is not done via the top hats. On the Supra, you've got a double wishbone suspension and everything is done on the control arms themselves. So the coilovers have absolutely no need for any type of adjustment up there, and it perfectly makes sense to do this, and it does not reduce performance, but still I would like to have a really nice top hat. These coilovers are two-way adjustable, so you've got the rebound at the bottom and the bump / compression at the very top, so there should be plenty of adjustment available. And you can also set the height or the preload on those springs however you need it. But before I go ahead and set them up, I want to remove the old ones off of the car so I can actually see the difference in them and the length and everything. Not that it's going to really affect my setup, but just for giggles, I want to see the side-by-side difference.
Let you go. Can't let you go.
Here we are, the coilovers are fully assembled and they look great. Now I just wanted to measure them real quick before I put them in. On the front, I'm measuring 51.5 centimeters, and on the stock ones, roughly 54.5. So that's about a 3 centimeters difference shorter on the new coilovers, and in the rear that's 53, and the stock ones are 57.5. So yeah, that's 3 to 4 centimeters between the rear and the front. The springs are also much harder on the coilovers. So even though they're shorter, they might not sit as low as you may think. We'll have to check later. But either way, they're fully adjustable. You can see how high I can go or how low. But the max droop on those would still be a little bit shorter. Alright, so I'm pretty much done installing the coilovers, but before I go ahead and put the wheels on and set the ride height, I want to set the rebound and compression. And according to KW, they recommend 9 clicks of rebound and 6 clicks of bump, both front and rear. So I'm going to set that up, and then we can do the ride height. Alright, so I reckon that might be a little bit too low. It looks dope, but it's not legal in Switzerland. So I actually need to raise it up at least 5 centimeters to be within the rules. I think the rear is a little bit better, but yeah, that's way too low. So let's get it back up, adjust it, and then we'll see where it lies. Alright, now this is much more decent. I think it's much more usable as well. And the wheels actually fit a lot better this way. So the thing now is there's still tension inside the tires from dropping the car. So I'm gonna roll it back and forward again just to check the ride height, make sure it's settled. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I really like this ride height. It's a little bit higher in the rear than in the front, but it gives it that typical Supra aggressive stance, which I really like. So I might keep this in the long run. But for now, I need to pass the Swiss inspections. So I'm going to do that with the lowest setting that I can get. So I'll drop it even more than this. But in the long run, it's no big deal if it's more. I just can't be below that lower limit. So that's why I want it inspected and registered with the lowest value possible. As I'm sitting here editing the video, I just realized that I haven't made an outro for this one. So here it is. I can actually give you feedback on the coilovers right away. I've been using them for the last 2-3 weeks and they feel great. They're really good all-rounder for the street. It's perfect. They're not too stiff. They're not too soft. They actually hold really well if you get on it, but they're also really smooth and comfortable. So all around, really good coilovers. I couldn't be happier. And I haven't played with the adjustments yet, but I feel like there's plenty to mess around with there if I need it. And for now, I'm still waiting for the wheels and the new tire setup. So until then, I'm not going to change the settings too much. But once those come in, of course, I'll want to experience with that. But yeah, just gotta wait for those. And that's it. I hope you like the install, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.